sis, welcome to today's Big Brother 18 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Caitlin Gleach, and it's her birthday! Happy 14th birthday! Yay! I hope you enjoyed last night's double eviction episode, or at least half of it. I felt like half of it was fun, and then the second half kind of sucked when Bridget got evicted. But anyway, I really do hope you have a wonderful day, and if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so one other thing about the double eviction, I was really hoping for a blind side of Zakiya, but I'm assuming it was James who spilled the beans and, you know, let them know, hey, Zakiya's going home. Because they definitely knew that was not a blind side. One other quick thing, was Michelle not like the best thing that happened during that double eviction episode? From the weird ass speeches, to the 3 outfits, to the mid-change and the crying and Julie having to tell her like, get your shit together. It was amazing. But anyway, let's talk about what's going on now. So the feeds come back after the episode, and Michelle and Nicole are trying to hash things out because Michelle was all, you're a snake! And Nicole was not happy about that. And Michelle wasn't planning on facing this because she thought she was going home. So she didn't think that she was going to have to answer to her Nicole's a snake comment. But anyway, Nicole's like, I didn't make a deal with you, Meech, before the double eviction, so, like, I don't know what you're talking about, but, like, it didn't happen. So then Michelle's like, well, I consider it a deal when 2 people agree not to put each other up, so, like, what the hell was that? And Nicole's like, I didn't say that, I said that you wouldn't be my target. So then Michelle's just like, okay, you're not a snake, Nicole, whatever you want to hear. So then Nicole's like, I've been getting a lot of credit for things that I'm not even doing, but whatever. I've never done anything wrong in my entire life. It's basically what she says. But she was also like, I don't even know what's going on half the time. I didn't even know who Corey was going to nominate when he was HOH. Yeah, Corey didn't even know who he was going to nominate. That's why he had to ask everyone a million times, what should I do? What should I do? Can I call my dog and ask what I should do? Come on. Okay, so then Nicole brings up some other issues with Michelle. She's like, you didn't even ask me for my vote this week. Like, what was that all about? And Michelle was like, yeah, I felt all alone because you're so close to Corey and Paulie, and I know you're, like, best friends with Zakiya, so obviously, like, you were going to give her your vote. So, yeah. Anyway, Paulie, Paul, Victor, and James were all in the safari room having a little guy talk, and Paulie is pissed because he did not get his way this week, and he's really pissed about Bridget and Michelle calling him out during the live show. So he was saying that his girl cousins and his sister are gonna beat the shit out of those girls for what they said about him. Are you freaking kidding me? That's so messed up. Like, really? I'm not even going to touch that because it's just messed up. So James leaves the room a few minutes later, and after he's gone, Paulie's just like, you know what, if I win HOH, I'm putting up James and Natalie, and James is the target. Because James freaking left me out there to be blasted, and like, he's just going on and on about how he can't trust James anymore, which is true, but it's pretty funny to watch. But Paul and Victor are playing along because the second HOH has not been played yet, so just in case Corey can't play. Just in case Paulie wins, they gotta be cool, you know? They gotta play the middle right now. So then in another room, Corey was asking Natalie why she confronted Zakiya about Paulie the other day. Remember when she was all like, Paulie did this and this and this, and he said this inappropriate thing to me. He was going to bite my butt, and he doesn't care about you. So James was in the room, too, during this conversation with Corey, and Natalie's like, I'm sorry, I had to say something to Zakiya because I really care about her, and if I was her, I would want to know if my man was going around, like, saying all this stuff. So then Corey's like, well, it makes me kind of nervous because, like, I say things to you, like, that you're beautiful or whatever, like, to make you feel good, and, like, I don't know, all this stuff. And he's like, I don't want you to do the same thing to me and Nicole. And Natalie's like, no, I wouldn't do that because Paulie, like, said these things to me that made me feel uncomfortable. So, like, I had to step up and say something. So Corey just keeps defending Paulie, and it's, like, so gross. He's like, Paulie's a good guy. It's not fair that he had to go through that. Okay, so then Paulie joins them in the London room, and he's like, he's got an attitude. He comes in here he's coming in hot. So he says to Natalie, I don't know if they pushed you to do that, what you did, but it wasn't cool at all. So he keeps saying that what she did wasn't cool. Again, he's talking about Natalie confronting Zakiya about Paulie's whatever. So he's being very aggressive about it. And he's like, Zakiya and I talked about those things one-on-one. Like, that's what adults do. They talk about things one-on-one. And Natalie's just like, Paulie, you are very, like, amped up right now. And we can have this discussion another time when you're not, like, freaking foaming at the mouth. But I don't appreciate you reprimanding me like this. I'm not going to talk about it right now. So Paulie's like, I'm not reprimanding you. So then she apologizes for hurting his feelings, which was totally unnecessary, but it's Natalie, so she's going to do that. And Paulie's just like, thanks, but like, I don't appreciate how you guys slandered my name. It was really messed up. It's not cool. So then Paulie and Michelle were talking in the have-not room. I never thought I'd see this again, but they were talking about Zakiya. There were a few other people in the room. So it's, you know, coming to light that Zakiya was pretty much playing both sides of the house. She would be all lovey-dovey with Paulie, and then she would turn around to people like Michelle and Natalie and tell them that Paulie was treating her like crap. So Michelle's like, yeah, Zakiya was telling me that she would cuddle with you for strategic reasons, and like last night she had to like fake this smile, and she was like dreading sleeping in the same bed as you. So then Paulie's like, oh really? 'Cause we boned last night. So everyone is just like, what? Yeah. So then Paulie tries to play it off. He's just like, oh, no we didn't. Live feed cameras are on. Yeah, they did. And he also owned up to boning with Zakiya multiple other times in other rooms too. And he's just like, yeah, I told Zakiya like I didn't want to kiss on camera because like I want to respect my parents. But you can freaking have sex with her? Like, what are you doing? I don't understand the logic there. But let's keep going. So Paul, James, and Victor were having a strategy chat. Again, this is still before the next HOH competition. At this point, we don't know who the HOH is. So Paul is like, we need to stick with our plan. We need to put up Paulie and Corey if we win that HOH. We gotta strike now. So James and Victor are like, I don't know if that's a good idea. They're thinking that they should backdoor one of them. They feel more comfortable with that. And Paul is just like, no, that's dumb because almost all of us are going to be playing in the power veto at this point in the game, so there's a good chance they're going to be playing anyway, and if one of them wins, they could save the other one, and then they're both safe, and that will really suck. So we just got to go for it. So that's, you know, go Paul. I'm for that. So then the feeds go down for the HOH competition. It sounds like it was some sort of memory challenge. Maybe, it also sounds like there were different rounds, but Victor was the big winner. So it's almost like back-to-back HOHs with like a little Corey action in there. So anyway, at first I was just like, Victor? Because I wasn't sure like what he was going to do, but just wait. So Paul, Paulie, and Victor are chatting. Paulie is already trying to run things. He's like, this should be an easy week, right? We go after Michelle, get rid of Michelle. And then Paulie's like, oh wait, like let's make sure that this is a group decision because James called me out and said that we only take out my targets. So he's kind of being like a bit of a smart butt about that. So Victor's like, no, I'm cool with putting up Michelle and Natalie, and then we'll see what happens with the veto, and we'll go from there. So then Paulie and Corey are alone. They are freaking ecstatic. They're like, yeah, the boys are back. Like, we got things back on track. And Paulie's like, maybe we'll just be able to chill out this week for once. But they agree, like, no, things are great with Victor. They don't feel like he's going to F them over. So they're feeling real good about it. So then, meanwhile, Paul and Victor are chatting in the other room. And Paul is just like, dude, this is it. This is go time. We need to put up Paulie and Corey now. We cannot miss this shot. We've got to do it while we have the numbers. So then he's telling Victor, like, do you really honestly think that those two guys want to go to the end with the rest of us guys? No freaking way. So Victor, again, he's all, oh, I'm nervous. So Paul is just like, no, put them both up on the block. One will be guaranteed to go home this week. It's gonna be great. So then Victor's like, you know, Paulie is the one who backdoored me, and I didn't forget about that. Yes. Okay, so then Paul is like, don't you worry, baby. I'm going to go around and talk to everybody. I'll do all the work and take care of this. Like, you just make your nominations and we'll be good to go. So Paul goes and shares the plan with James and Natalie. They're totally on board. And then Paul also has some extra information for James. He's like, yeah, Paulie was just saying before that he doesn't trust you and he wants to get rid of you. Okay, so then Paul is telling James, like, you need to encourage Victor to go through with this plan, put up Paulie and Corey because he's a little bit scared and he needs to feel supported. So Victor comes in and James is just like, we gotta do this. Let's go. So he tells Victor, yeah, Paulie had this freaking plan in place to backdoor you during the double eviction if the opportunity arose. So remember when Day was evicted and she whispered in your ear like they're gonna come after you in the double eviction? That's what that was. That was for real. So Victor's like, oh snap, it's all making sense. So then Victor is like, okay, I'm all for this plan, but we're gonna have to wait and see who gets the next care package because that could really mess things up. And they don't even know that it's super safety this week, so they just gotta wait and see. All right, so let's talk about Nicole. She is panicking. She was talking to Corey, and she was like, I don't know what Victor's going to do. Like, do you think I'm going to go up on the block? And she's getting really worried about Michelle, and she's just like, after Michelle survived that double eviction with those speeches and everything, if she makes it through this week too, like, she could potentially win. So Nicole's really nervous. She's talking to Victor now, and she's just like, I think I could be really good for your game, because, like, I wouldn't put you up on the block, and I'm not coming after you. That's great. So then Victor he's going to use this opportunity to see what kind of information he can get from Nicole. So, like, he just heard before that Paulie came up with this plan to backdoor him during the double eviction. So he's going to see if Nicole will confirm this and if he can trust her. So he asks, like, hey, has anyone been throwing my name around in the past 2 weeks or so? Like, since I've been back? You know, any plans to backdoor me or anything? Nicole was really squirming. She was not handling this well. And Victor was really just, like, pedal to the metal, going for it. So eventually, you know, she's, like, trying to avoid it. But eventually, he manages to pull an answer out of her. And she says that James was the one that came up with a plan. That's a lie. That's a lie. And Victor knows it. So then he's asking, well, what about, like, Paulie and Corey? Were they in the room for that? Like, what's the deal there? And she is just like, I don't know, maybe, like, if you heard that, it could be true, but, like, I don't know. So she's, like, really trying to protect those two guys, but Victor knows what's up. So then she's just saying how she doesn't want to go up on the block, and Victor tells her to stop having a pity party. Okay, so a little while later, Corey got his HOH basket and his letter. Isn't that so nice that they still get that during double eviction? That's fun. So his letter was from his mom, his dad, and his sister. And then a little while after that, Victor got his HOH room, and his letter was from his big sister. So nothing too groundbreaking happened after that. I mean, there was, like, a lot of crap talk on both sides. Paulie being all like, I can't believe Z was playing me, blah, blah. And then Paul was really encouraging Michelle to mess with Paulie this week mentally, just, like, ruffle his feathers, get him all freaked out so he's crap in all the competitions. And she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's a lot of fun. So this morning, the next America's Care package arrived, and it was for Nicole. So she got the super safety care package, which means that she is safe for the week. She also got some scrunchies, some bug spray, other little things like that, hair ties. And also, she has to wear the super safety costume for the week. You know, she freaking loves her costumes. So it's yellow and orange. She's got this like cone hat that actually kind of looks like a witch hat. She's got a yellow cape. She's got elbow pads, knee pads. I think she's gonna have a lot of fun with it. You know, Nicole loves a good costume. And Nicole and Corey are super jazzed that she got this because she's safe for the week. Corey thinks he's gonna be safe for the week. And you know they gotta be thinking right now that America loves them. So, yeah, moving on. Victor and Paul are chatting and they're like, you know what? Care package, not a problem. We weren't going for Nicole anyway. The plan is still moving forward. Put up Corey and Paulie. And they're saying, like, it's fine even if one of them comes down because Michelle has already volunteered to go up on the block as a pawn. They're going to stay the course, get rid of one of the guys. So then they're talking about future weeks to come. They want to make a Final Four deal with James and Natalie. They feel like they can really trust them at this point. I think that's a really interesting alliance. And they're planning, you know, take Natalie to the Final Three. They don't want to take James. And I'm wondering, like, would either of them take Natalie to the final two, or would they be all like bros forever? I don't know. I feel like Victor would take Paul, but I'm not sure that Paul would take Victor. It would definitely be interesting. So then Paulie joined their conversation, and he's feeling so confident that Natalie and Michelle are still going up on the block. He freaking prepared a speech that he wants to say to Michelle at the nomination ceremony. You are not the HOH. You do not speak at the nomination ceremony. But basically, he wants to tell her, you suck. There's a guys' alliance, and we're picking off the girls one by one. Oh my god. I wonder if he actually said this or not. I don't know. But they had the nomination ceremony today, and Victor freaking champed it and put up Corey and Paulie. You know that this fallout's going to be amazing. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until tomorrow, much love.